If you consider yourself spiritually aware if you meditate,
Seek higher consciousness, work on your vibration, sense energy.
care about purpose over paycheck, but secretly check your bank account with a sinking feeling, feel guilty charging what you're worth, attract clients but not consistent income, or watch less awake, people prosper while you struggle,
Then you need to hear this right now, because you've been operating under one of the most damaging spiritual misconceptions that's literally blocking abundance from flowing to you. And it's not about mindset or gratitude journals. It's about a fundamental wiring error in how spiritual teachings have framed money that creates what I call the poverty-purity paradox, the unconscious belief that being spiritual means being poor, that money corrupts, that charging money for spiritual work is unethical, and that true enlightenment requires detachment from material things. And this single paradox is why you can heal others, but not your finances,
why you can manifest peace but not profit,
and why you feel like you're vibrating high but your bank account disagrees. And today we're going to dismantle that wiring and install what I call sacred economics, the understanding that money is not the opposite of spirituality. It's a form of spiritual energy made visible,
a tangible current of exchange that flows according to the same universal laws as love, consciousness, and creativity. And your struggle ends the moment you realize that your financial flow is a direct mirror of your self-worth frequency, not your spiritual worthiness. Let me prove this to you immediately. Think of the last time you received money, whether a payment, a gift, or even found cash, and notice your immediate emotional response.
Did you feel gratitude and expansion, or guilt and contraction?
For most spiritually aware people, there's a subconscious recoil, a voice that whispers, "I don't deserve this. Money is dirty. What will people think?"
Or spiritual people shouldn't care about money. That voice isn't your intuition.
It's spiritual conditioning, often absorbed from well-meaning but misinterpreted teachings that frame money as root of all evil. Actually, the original text says the love of money is the root of all evil, a critical difference, that poverty equals humility, and that charging for healing, coaching,
or spiritual guidance is somehow less pure. This creates an energetic block in your financial chakra. Yes, there's actually an energy center for abundance, located at the solar plexus, not the heart, and when this center is blocked by guilt, shame, or unworthiness, money literally cannot flow to you, no matter how many abundance meditations you do, because you're emitting a frequency of "I am not safe to receive" that the universe mirrors back.
Here's the first paradigm shift you must make today. Money is neutral energy.
Your story about money is what charges it positively or negatively.
Money is no more spiritual or unspiritual than electricity. It's a current that can light a hospital or a weapon factory, depending on the intention behind its use. When you attach morality to money itself, you create what quantum physics calls observer effect. Your judgment of money actually changes how money energy behaves in your field.
So the first step isn't making more money.
It's healing your relationship with money. And we do that through what I call the 3 permission practices that you'll start today. Permission practice 1. Permission to receive without earning.
Spiritually aware people often have a hidden martyr complex. We believe we must suffer, struggle, or sacrifice to be holy. We'll work for free,
undercharge, or reject gifts because receiving without struggle feels spiritually unsafe.
Today, you'll practice receiving something small, a compliment, a seat on the bus, a smile, and consciously say, "I receive this freely," to retrain your nervous system that receiving is safe.
Permission practice 2. Permission to charge your true worth. There's a massive difference between what you need to survive and what you're energetically worth. When you base your pricing on bills rather than value, you attract clients who respect your price, but not your energy.
Today, write down one service or skill you offer and double it, not because you're greedy, but because you're recognizing that your spiritual insight has tangible value in someone's life.
Permission practice 3. Permission to prosper without guilt.
Watch what happens when you see someone spiritually grounded and wealthy. Do you feel inspired or suspicious?
That suspicion is the poverty-purity paradox at work.
Today, find one example of someone you consider both spiritual and prosperous and mentally bless their abundance, which subconsciously gives you permission to have it too.
Now, let's address the second major block, the confusion between detachment and disinterest.
Many spiritual teachings advise detachment from money, which is misinterpreted as "don't care about money." True spiritual detachment means
you are not emotionally controlled by money. You don't panic when it's low or become arrogant when it's higher, but you still engage with it consciously.
Disinterest, however, creates what energetic laws call lack of attention flow, where you put your attention grows.
And if you ignore money, you're essentially telling the universe,
This isn't important, so it stops sending it. The balance is what I call sacred engagement. You respect money as a spiritual tool. You manage it with consciousness. You flow it with generosity, but you don't worship it. This looks like having a budget without obsession, checking your accounts without anxiety, and setting financial goals without attachment to exactly how they manifest.
Let's get practical. Starting today, you'll implement what I call the daily money ritual, a 2-minute practice that rewires your financial energy.
Each morning, open your banking app, yes, really, and instead of checking with fear, look at the numbers and say, "Thank you for showing me where my energy currently stands. I am open to increase." Then, physically touch some money, a dollar bill, a coin, and feel its energy. Is it just paper? Or can you sense the exchange of energy it represents? This isn't woo-woo.
It's sensory grounding that reminds your nervous system that money is real energy. Now, the third critical click. Understanding that your spiritual gifts are meant to be exchanged, not just given away. The universe operates on sacred exchange, breath for breath, energy for energy, value for value. When you consistently give your spiritual gifts without receiving fair exchange, you create an energy leak that leads to burnout and resentment, which then lowers your vibration and ironically makes you less effective as a healer or guide.
I'm not saying don't be generous. Generosity is spiritual, but there's a difference between chosen generosity and compulsory self-sacrifice. Many lightworkers have what I call exchange trauma, a deep fear that if they ask for fair exchange, they'll be rejected, seen as greedy, or lose their spiritual identity. This often stems from past life memories, if you believe in those, of being persecuted for spiritual gifts,
or childhood wounds where love was conditional on being the giver. Healing this requires a simple but profound mantra you use every time you exchange money. I give value.
I receive value, and both are sacred. Say it when you pay for groceries. You receive nourishment. They receive support. Say it when you invoice a client. They receive transformation. You receive sustenance. This mantra aligns you with the universal law of reciprocity, which states that energy must flow in balanced cycles to remain healthy. Now, let's talk about manifestation, because you've probably tried visualizing abundance, scripting, vision boards, and maybe even felt frustrated when they didn't work.
Here's why. Most spiritual manifestation techniques focus on attracting money.
But if your energy field is repelling money due to guilt, shame, or unworthiness, you're trying to fill a cup with a hole in the bottom. You must first heal the repelling frequency before you can attract consistently. That's why we start with permission, not manifestation.
Once you've done the inner work, manifestation becomes natural and effortless, what I call passive attraction, where money flows not because you're chasing it,
but because you've become a vibrational match for it.
You'll know you're shifting when opportunities for income start finding you, when you receive unexpected money without manipulation, when pricing feels easy rather than conflicted. But here's the actionable step today. Identify your money story origin. Think back to your earliest memory about money. What did your family believe? Was money scarce or abundant? Was it discussed with anxiety or ease? Was spiritual poverty praised? Write that memory down. Then write a new story next to it. While that was their experience, I now choose to believe, and insert a belief that serves your sacred economics, like money flows easily to me as I serve my purpose, or my spirituality enhances my prosperity. This isn't affirmations. It's conscious rewriting of your financial blueprint.
The fourth and most crucial click.
Realizing that spiritual wealth and material wealth are not opposites. They're two expressions of the same abundant universe.
Nature doesn't choose between beauty and bounty. A fruit tree is both gorgeous and abundant. You are meant to be the same. Your spiritual depth doesn't require financial lack.
In fact, when you're financially stable, you have more energy, time, and resources to deepen your spiritual practice, help others, and contribute to global healing. Struggle is not spiritual. It's just struggle.
Ease is not unspiritual. It's alignment.
So let's address the final blockage, the fear that money will corrupt your spiritual path.
This fear is based on a misunderstanding of power. Money is energy, and like any energy, it amplifies who you already are. If you're fearful, money amplifies fear.
If you're generous, money amplifies generosity.
If you're spiritually grounded, money amplifies your ability to do spiritual work.
Look at the spiritual teachers who've built schools, hospitals, and communities. They used money as a tool for service.
You are not selling your soul.
You're funding your mission.
Starting today, I want you to create what I call a prosperity altar, a small space in your home where you place symbols of both spiritual and material abundance. A crystal next to a dollar bill, a spiritual book next to a vision of your dream home. This physical representation reminds your subconscious that these energies can coexist.
And finally, the most practical shift: track your energy exchange. For 1 week, write down every time you give energy, time, effort, healing, advice, and every time you receive energy, money, gifts, help, support.
Notice if you're in deficit. The goal isn't tit for tat accounting.
It's awareness.
Spiritually aware people often give 90% and receive 10%, then wonder why they're exhausted. Balance is key. If this is resonating, if you're feeling the click happening, then you're ready for the next level, which is exactly what we explore every week on this channel. I'm creating an entire series on sacred economics because this one shift changes everything, not just your bank account, but your energy, your relationships, your impact. If you haven't subscribed yet, tap that button right now, because next week we're diving into the 3-minute money frequency reset, a daily practice that raises your financial vibration in less time than it takes to make coffee. I'll show you exactly how to clear money blocks from your energy field, how to program money as a positive current, and how to attract aligned income without hustle. You will also want to hit the bell because I'm dropping a bonus video this Friday on how to price your spiritual work without guilt, a step-by-step framework I've used to help hundreds of healers, coaches, and lightworkers charge their true worth. The community we're building here is about integrating spirituality and practical abundance, and your journey is part of that.
So subscribe now, don't wait until you're ready or worthy. You're already both.
Your spiritual awareness is not a barrier to wealth. It's the very key you've been missing.
And every video from here will help you turn that key.
So take a breath right now.
Place one hand on your heart and one on your solar plexus.
Breathe into both. To your heart, say, I am love. To your solar plexus, say, I am worthy of abundance. Do this 3 times.
That's your activation.
The shift starts now. I'll see you in the comments and in the next video. Remember, your spirituality doesn't limit your wealth.
It defines how you use it.
And the world needs spiritually wealthy people now more than ever. If this clicked for you, if you felt that shift in how you see money and spirituality, I need you to do 3 things immediately. First, comment sacred economics below so I know this reached you and we can connect there.
Second, subscribe and hit the bell because next week's money frequency reset practice will build directly on what we started today. You won't want to miss it. And third, most important, within the next hour, take one small action that aligns with sacred economics. Raise a price by 10%. Say thank you for money you receive, or simply look at your bank account without judgment.
Your financial energy is shifting right now.
Meet it with action.
Subscribe, and let's continue this journey together.